Baby got me woofing all over town. Cover much ground.
That's first, correct? Yeah, that's
Yep,
first.
that's first.
All right.
That hits first.
We alive. You ready, Blunt?
That is first. Yes, I am.
Ooh. Oh, and you know what we got to bring. Now that you did that.
She was sure to get down, good lord. Baby's got him moving all over town. Strictly that she don't play around. Cover much ground, she got the game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte, each and every day. To clear away, I can't get her out of my mind. I think about the girl all the time. East side to the west side, pushing right and right. Baby, no surprise. She got tricks in the stash, stacking up the cash. When it comes to the gas, by no means average. She's on, she's got the habit. Maybe you're a perfect 10. I wanna get in, can I get down so I can win? Work it, no diggity. Got to bag it up. Like the way you work it, no diggity. Got to bag it up. I like the way you work it, no diggity. Got to bag it up. Like the way you work it, no diggity. Got to bag it up.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's up? What's up? What's up, peoples?
What's going on, Blunt? Welcome, guys. Welcome to another Two Trans and Misfits show. Our 164th show.
Yes, sir.
And I gotta get credit over here. If you guys see right here next to me, the little on the air sign right here, the nice lit on air sign, which I could actually check this out. I could make it brighter, but I'm gonna make it a little lighter so that way we could see the whole thing. That it? Oh, did I just turn the whole thing off? Okay. So this was a gift from, was it Bluntaramas? No. It was from your boy Blunt right here. So when we talk whatever and we have our discussions, I remember telling him that I wish I had my little, like, a room or a shed or something in the house, and to have just our little studio. And I don't know if you mentioned it or I mentioned it. So yeah, I think I mentioned to have like a light to turn on so that nobody comes bother me or whatever.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
And Blunt came with this, man. Freaking the coolest thing, man, on air. And now Blunt's got to get his. But
Yeah,
check it out.
gotta get mine.
How
I got
cool
my
is
setup
that?
coming. I'm gonna have pretty soon my lightsaber in the back.
Lightsaber.
I have my lightsaber hanging in the back. My on air should be somewhere around there.
Word, really? Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Nice. So anyway, what else I wanted to say? Which we didn't mention last week, was our 5th year anniversary. Two Transit Misfits 5th year anniversary.
Yeah, we went from Next Bus Please,
Mhm.
Next Bus Please live show to Two Transit Misfits.
And that's where we are. So it was February 23rd. It was the first show. And I wanted to mention that. So, guys, for those of you that have been sticking around all this time, happy anniversary to all of you. And for those of you that came in, join us for the next anniversary. All right. Blunt, what's going on? What we got to talk about today?
We got a couple of things. But one of the first issues that we wanted to bring up was this one about the person at the assembly that she's giving a speech. I'm not quite sure what it's about. So you gotta
the girl
listen.
Yeah. Okay, you want to toss it up there?
Where did she go? I just had her. Where did she go? I lost her.
Tell me that we deleted it.
No, it's Rebecca Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out, y'all.
Good evening, council members and residents of Santee behind me. My name is Rebecca Phillips, and I'm 17 years old. I am not a resident of Santee, but I am employed at a local restaurant, the Omelet Factory, and I work out regularly at the Santee YMCA. Just 2 weeks ago, after finishing my shift at my job, I went to the gym to swim laps. As I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room. I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone. I ran into a bathroom stall to change as quickly as I could, organizing my thoughts to share with the people at the front desk. As I did so, I could only think of my 5-year-old sister, who I bring to this gym during the summer to enjoy their water slides. This is the YMCA, where hundreds of children spend their summer afternoons in childcare camps. This is the YMCA where my little sister took gymnastics lessons. The locker room was supposed to be her safe haven to gossip with her friends and shower and change. When I asked the YMCA management what their policy was regarding transgenders, they confirmed that the man that I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased. As long as you are not a red flag on Megan's Law, the California Sex Offender Registry, a grown male can shower alongside a teenage girl at your YMCA location here in Santee. I was made to feel as though I had done something wrong when I talked to people at the YMCA. Somehow, the indecent exposure of a male to a female minor was an inconvenience to them. When my dad spoke to the sheriff's office, they told him that he should never allow me to shower there ever again. The YMCA wouldn't let my father speak to the manager of the Santee branch. After waiting several days, he finally received a call from Terry Moss, who is the director of membership for San Diego County. She informed my dad that I was not in any danger at the time of the incident, that I was safe. But I ask you this. I'm assuming all of you either have a wife, a sister, daughters, or granddaughters, or are a woman yourself. Could you knowingly send an underage girl into a room where there was a naked male and say that she was not in danger, that she was safe, or more importantly, that this was right? The fact that we are now tailoring our privacy policies and bathroom laws around transgenders, ignoring the blatant threat to safety that this poses, is obscene. The safety of children, girls, is on the chopping block. And this issue is not unique to one political party. Both Democrats and Republicans whom I have shared this story with have all been equally disgusted. So I implore you all to take action. With great privilege comes great responsibility.
So now that you hear Blunt, what do you think about that?
You know, I'm listening to her and I can't help but feel like those tears that she was bringing down were for dramatic effect only. I could be wrong, but I really feel like she deserves an Oscar for that. But I can understand her passion about what she's saying, and I kind of agree with what her overall process is for this, because I feel like that person shouldn't have been allowed in the women's restroom. I don't care if they had the sex change or not. I feel like the transgender should have their own restroom, period.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because there was an update to that story where the transgender came out to say that she had the full bottom
operation.
surgery, the full operation. But I mean, how do you feel as a father? She's 17, so she's still a minor.
Okay, so yeah, she's still a minor. But if that person had the full operation, then there's really no issue, because it's not like she's standing at the urinal, which there shouldn't be no urinals in the women's bathroom. But It's not like she's standing with a urinal with a penis out.
Yeah, and that's what I thought when I first heard the story. Now,
right.
both sides have come over there to the courts to say their point. This person has a lot of people on her side, the transgender woman.
Yeah, I mean,
they're calling this for it to close. They're trying to close down this YMCA. And I meant we bring it up here because I mean it's not here in New York, but suppose that they would bring that rule out here to New York. I feel like it would pass with no problem. I feel
that they close,
that they would let them.
Yeah, it would definitely let them.
I think here in New York, that issue would.
Which I don't agree. If they don't have, I feel this is my personal opinion. I feel like if they haven't had the full surgery, then they need to be in the bathroom that they were, what they call it now, assigned to at birth. And once they have the full surgery, then you could go into male or female, whichever surgery you had. But I also feel that for those who haven't had the surgery and they feel that they identify as the other gender, that should be a whole separate bathroom for them, so they don't be about,
Well, you see, the whole thing is that they want to be included. That's the whole thing. Like a transgender woman is going to say that she is a woman, and she's probably going to feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to say she. I'm just going to, just to stay. What do you call it? Political.
Right. I get that they
might
feel
feel
that way.
Uncomfortable going to a male bathroom, but so like you said, they're going to have a third one then.
Third bathroom that's just for transgender.
But then that will be an issue too, because then you got the transgender woman, the transgender man. The transgender woman are going to want to go in the same bathroom with a transgender man, and so forth. So it's like what they're going to have to build.
It's either that or they just have to go with the bathroom that they were assigned to, unless they have the surgery. If they have the full surgery, which then at that point they gotta submit papers to somebody, the manager of the complex that you're going to, or something. You have to divulge that personal information. But that's just a real issue. Like I don't feel comfortable with a transgender woman coming in a male's bathroom because she identifies as a male. She coming in full tits, lipstick, hair. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'll wait for her to finish doing what she's doing, and then I'll take care of my business.
I know back in the day, the clubs were like that, though.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the clubs were women were walking right where the men were.
Mm-hmm. They still do that now when it's like the lines are extra long. There are women that don't give a fuck. They'll come in the male's bathroom.
They gotta go.
They go in the stall. They go in the stall, close the door. Nobody can see nothing. Most of the men don't care. They in the stall. Most of the men don't care if they see anything. Damn way. Hey, look. But I mean,
I don't know. I feel like there may not be many men that would complain if they're standing by a stall and a woman walks in.
I don't feel most men would complain about that. They'd be like, what the hell? Dude, okay, fuck it, Right. It'd be rare till I see that happen every day, But I think mostly it'd be the women that would feel uncomfortable having their little daughters and stuff where the female come in and they whip out a cock. You're like, wait, what the hell? Gonna confuse the hell out the little girl. Yeah, I don't. I just felt like her story was a little extra, and you see the mind process of.
Well, they probably have to. They want to make sure that they get everybody's attention, so she has to go in there with the, with the sad.
I mean, when you get angry, Pete, when you get angry at something, say you're at a restaurant or something, you get angry. Do you have a thought process of what you're going to say to management, or you just go to the management and blurt out exactly what you're feeling?
Yeah, you just blurt it out. You just go. What's
on your
I was
a little amazed that she's like, while I was standing behind the flimsy curtain, I was getting my thought process together of what I'm gonna bring up to management. Like, this is how these people think. Like, she was in her thought process of how she's gonna complain.
Yeah, I mean, she wrote it down and everything.
Yeah, I mean, she probably had what you call that thing?
A lawyer.
A PowerPoint presentation ready already by the time she got to management. I mean, seriously, I never thought about it like that where I want to complain. First of all, I don't really complain as it is, but that's what they do. They're good at that. They're good at doing complaints, but I never really realized that, before they actually complain, there's a thought process before it. So it's just like amazing me, like how different we can be at some certain times of certain things, But again, I don't feel like I just feel like if that person had the full surgery, there shouldn't be an issue because going to the women's bathroom, there are no stalls, no urinal stalls in women's bathrooms, so they're all closed.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be an issue.
I just wonder if the look was
that's
maybe
what I'm gonna say. How did she come
feminine
to that conclusion that was a transgender? Because if it's just the look, that's a little biased,
Yeah. I'm gonna
There's
look
some
into
women
that
that
more into the story and see if there's a picture of this person. I was just looking at it and see
and
anything.
especially if the person had the full operation. How did she come to that conclusion?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
There's always going to be someone that's going to
still had it in his bag, and he would just pulled it out, put it on the counter, like, oh, I miss you. I don't know. This is weird. It's weird.
But yeah, that's California for you.
California. It might be coming to New York, so keep your eyes open for that.
Yeah. I mean, they're still going at it. As of February 18, I think, or 8th, they were still they want to close it. Some people want to close it. They're saying that they should close it down. I mean,
they should have some on YouTube about that. I'm gonna check and see if I can find something. See what they talk about. Some kind of maybe one of these court channels might have it up there.
So we're in this with all the sexual stuff, Blunt. What do you say we bring in if he's around? If we bring in Mr. Blunstradamus before we continue with the show.
Well, you got some questions for you. Ready? He's ready.
Let me hold on. Let me do my whole little. Where is it? I have the questions. Okay. Well, he went to get Mr. Blunstradamus. Hey, Danny. So, folks, as you know, we've been bringing in a new character, a new show person, Mr. Blunstradamus, where you ask a relationship question or a relationship-related question to be answered by our new team member, who's Blunstradamus, without any sugarcoating. In other words, bluntly. Okay, I remind you that to have your questions featured on our show, you must send it to therealbrooklynpete@gmail.com. That way, Mr. Blunstradamus doesn't see the questions prior. So again, it's therealbrooklynpete@gmail.com. All right. And now, without further ado, we're going to bring in none other than, if I see the video, Mr. Blunstradamus. Mr. Blunstradamus, welcome back. It's been a minute.
Pete, how are we doing? Hey, how you doing, people?
Good. We're doing good. Glad to see you. Glad to have you back.
How you doing, guys? I hear you got some questions for me this week.
I sure do. We have 2 questions from you sent to us by our viewers. And let me get to them right now. Okay, so the first question we have for you comes from, almost gave it up. There's the first question. And let me switch you over because we when you come here, we got to give you full video for you. So the first question is, I am in a healthy relationship. How much sex is too much?
There's no such thing. It's whatever you and your partner can handle. If you want it morning, noon, and night, get it. Get it while you're young. Get it hot, get it often, and get it all the time until you're dry and dehydrated. There you go.
All right. Thank you so much for that. You just said getting dehydrated.
Yep. Never such thing as too much. If it becomes too much for either one of you guys, gotta find a new partner.
Ooh. Thank you so much for that. Now, our second and last question. I don't know why we get these questions, but can I get something more serious? All right, here we go. How would you react to finding out your significant other's best friend is someone you had a one-night stand with?
Oh wow. No reaction. You gotta let your significant other's best friend dictate where you take that.
Dictate what?
Where you take it.
Where you take it.
If that person doesn't want to reveal it, then it shall stay till you go to your grave. But they might be that type of person where they feel guilty. And if it happened before your significant other, then bring it up and work that out. But it might be too much. It might be too much. So I say let that significant other best friend dictate how you go. Pull it to the side and say, we got to figure this out, because you want to tell her or you want to keep that between us. And that's how you rock. Because a lot of these women out here, they say they want the truth until you tell them the truth. And it's a different story. So fill out how it goes for you
Facts.
and move accordingly.
All right.
Especially if it was bad. Imagine if it was bad.
That would really be something. So, how would you react to finding out your significant other's best friend?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm guessing also it could be one that had happened, right? I mean,
as long as it happened before
they got together,
that's it. It has to be before. Anything after that is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. You better not say nothing.
Mr. Blussaramas, like always, it's a pleasure having you here. I hate that it's always such a short time, but
that's all right. I got places to go, people to be. So
all right. So thank you. And we'll be back. All right. Hey.
Go where you gotta go.
He says he's got to go somewhere. He's
always got to go somewhere. Yeah, he's trying to take my coffee over here.
Maybe we should have him be our what do you call John on the street? What do you call it?
Anchor.
Yeah, what do you call it? There's a name for that. Johnny on the road, Johnny on the street. What is it? Yeah, mentioned it once.
Johnny.
You mentioned it once. Anyway, Blunt, what do you think about Blunt's
Funny guy, man. He has some good insight and stuff. I mean, I don't know. He's a little narcissistic for me, but
it is. But he's all right. And I have to work on my intro for him because, but yeah. But okay, so
get the fuck out of here, guy hanging on. So yeah. Yeah, we got some special news that we want to bring up. And it all started from a TikTok that we saw.
Go ahead.
I think this would be interesting for especially the people who ride the L train in Brooklyn. It definitely concerns you. So take a look at this video, and then we're gonna have a little discussion about it right after the video. Check this out.
Hey there, remember this guy? We nicknamed him the L Train Nazi. Brief recap, for years and years, people riding specifically the L Train in New York had noticed white supremacist graffiti on like the walls and steps and so forth. And then this Twitter user, Harriet Thugman, which is a fantastic name by the way, started documenting where she'd see it, and then other people joined in. They were removing it when they would see it, etc. And for years, they would see the graffiti, but they would never catch the person in the act. And then a few weeks ago, someone was standing on a platform and heard the sound of a marker drawing on a pylon and was like, oh, could it be? They came around a corner and they took a picture right as this guy was putting a marker away in his pocket. And right there, you can see it just got done writing 1488. And then the quest was on to find him. I saw all this because of a user named Talia Jane who had posted it, so I boosted it, and then she started receiving tips. One of those tips was for a 46-year-old man named Safet Kukaj, better known as Sal. And funny enough, back in 2019, he was charged for vandalism with a hate crime enhancement for writing FN words and white power on a New York City bus. Certainly sounds like the MO of the same person. And then she got a tip as to where he works and where he lives. So she figured she'd just go down there and talk to him herself.
Hi, are you Sal?
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Talia.
Oh, you gotta shut that off. You gotta shut that off. You gotta shut.
Do we have to shut that off?
Yeah, we can talk. You and I can talk together outside. Come on.
So I looked into your
That's a
history.
very serious accusation. I've been seeing what's going on. That's a serious accusation. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry you feel that way. I still
Do you
have
want to
live.
talk about like the 2019 incident where you were caught putting graffiti on the subways that match a lot of what is occurring now?
Listen. I understand you're sensitive. I understand that there was sensitive graffiti. I'm sorry, okay?
Okay, but you were charged in 2019 for a hate crime.
I don't know. No, I wasn't.
Yes.
No, I wasn't.
It was
No,
graffiti with hate crime, right? Why do you do it?
Listen, these are. I never hurt nobody. Show me one person that I physically
Do you
hurt.
understand why it's hurtful to see
Well, you could be
tags
offended.
claiming
People
that
like
LGBTQ
people are offended by
bad?
Trump. People are super offended
Do you
just by
understand
Trump.
why people would be offended and feel unsafe in a place that says
Yes,
that espouses
yes.
white supremacist
No,
rhetoric?
that's ugly. That's ugly stuff you're talking about.
Why do you do it?
I don't know. I'm bipolar. Maybe that's got a lot to do with it. I'm sorry. I'm bipolar.
It's not me. I don't know why I do it, because I'm bipolar. Yeah, that thing where people who are bipolar go and do racist graffiti. Right. Oh, and not you? It's not you, Sal. So now the question becomes, what are the police going to do about it? About the guy who was previously convicted of a hate crime doing the same hate crime still. Talia did all the work for you. Found the guy. She'll probably tell you where he is right now if you'd like to reach out to her.
I don't think we want to put that out there for people to try to find out where he's at.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Definitely.
There's a couple of things about that video. When he says, first of all, he apologized, which really doesn't carry much water, but the fact that he apologized is a little bit of a step in the right direction for him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, is for him still to be doing it, it's just wrong. Then he claims he's bipolar. I don't know if he's bipolar or not, but there's clearly some kind of issue, some kind of mental issue with him. So he should be getting he should have been ordered for, if he did get arrested for the crimes that they say, what's it called? What they said it was graffiti hate crimes.
Hate crimes, yeah.
He should have been ordered to seek help, to get some kind of help for him. And that should have been one of the things of his release, one of the conditions of his release, because there's clearly something wrong with him. So when he says to the lady, that's not me, I kind of believe him in that way, because he could be a schizophrenic where he doesn't even realize that he's posted it's other identity that's doing that, because he could be a Nazi as a separate identity. And people like that, they can't control what they do. So they need help. So that could be the reason. He does seem a little remorse. He does seem a little surprised that somebody actually approached him about it. But again, I'm not condoning what he said. I'm not condoning what he did, and I just feel like he should be mandated to getting help, because what he did posting that stuff is really offensive, especially if you know about those things. A lot of people, we walk around and we might have seen 1488 and it would have been no big deal. But there are other people who know about that stuff and see it and be right away offended. You know, I'm one that if I would have saw 1488, I'd have been like, so what? And I'd have been next to somebody who would have been upset, like, what like, you got to explain this to me because I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm ignorant to this right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I actually did a little research on 1488. You want to hear what I came up with?
Before you go into the one thing about that being freedom of speech,
it does fall into that category.
I mean, a hate crime, wouldn't it be like if you're burning out a building or you're putting a cross on fire, or when you go into a synagogue and you break their windows? Those are hate crimes. Or you go into private area like a synagogue and you will write something like when they do the swastikas and stuff like that, opposed to this being in public where people do graffiti all the time. I'm not condoning it. I'm definitely not condoning it at all. But I'm just wondering if that falls under, besides him coming out to somebody and call them the N-word to their face, would that be thought as, freedom of speech?
I think it's not covered because I feel like that falls into the category of yelling fire in a public building. I kind of feel like it falls into that category. When it comes to yelling fire, there isn't a fire. That freedom of speech is waived at that point because you're going to cause a public panic, a public stir. And I feel like putting that down will cause a public panic and a public stir, so it might fall into that. But I'm no lawyer, so I don't know if that legally does fall into that. But I just feel like that's what fits in that category. Because we do have freedom of speech.
You said you were ignorant to it. Like, if anywhere that you see the swastika, everybody would know what that means.
Right. I'm not ignorant to that. But
we would definitely say that's hatred. But you see that number, it probably would be a very small amount of people
that understand what that
know
is.
What this is.
Right.
Now
so
we know about it more now.
Right. And a lot of people are gonna know what it means right now, because when I look it up, I'm like, okay, this is what it means. And I just feel like that's what it. No, okay. So somebody put a narrator put I'm concerned I'll take the train on kids. Okay, so this is going to be a little something that you can educate your kids on. It's really I wouldn't say not to be too concerned about it, just to be aware of what's going on and who's posting this stuff. Because when I looked up what 1488 means, it does have a significant meaning. And it's very surprising to know what it is. Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick for you guys so you can understand what I'm talking about. So I went to was it Live? So I forgot the website I got it from, but I came up with this, man. 1488 alternate name. So 1488 is a combination of two popular white supremacist numeric symbols. The first symbol is 14, which is shorthand for the 14-word slogan, which is "We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children." The second is 88, which stands for Heil Hitler, which H is being the 8th letter of the alphabet. So Heil Hitler, 2 H's. That's where you get 1488. And together, the numbers form a general endorsement of white supremacy and its beliefs. As such, they are ambiguous within the white supremacist movements, as graffiti, in graphics, and tattoos, even in screen names and email addresses, such as Aryan Princess 1488 at hate.net. I don't think that's a real one, but they're just using that as an example. And then some white supremacists even price racist merchandise, such as T-shirts and compact discs, for $14.88. So the symbol is mostly commonly written as 1488 or 14/88. The variations such as 14, I guess that's another. What's that? -88 and then 8814 are also common. So yeah, it has a significant meaning to it. It's a white supremacist dog whistle, you can say.
And that's
which is
I mean, this is good to
interesting.
know because we're out there now. We could be looking for these kind of things in certain
And not just looking
locations.
for the graffiti, but who's posting these things? Who's
Yeah.
tagging these things up?
Oh,
You
we
know?
saw
And let
one
them know
person.
and let them know we see you. We see you and we ready. We see you and we ready for your dumb bullshit. You know? So that's a little education on your part. And it's I don't know. I don't think it should be scared because again, this guy was a little playing with a full deck. But again, that is a dog whistle. And it's just something to be aware of. Honestly, I feel like transit should be more on top of getting rid of that. Once somebody reports that it's up, it should be taken down immediately, or the public could just tag over it where our tag is at. Cover over it with something dope.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
wait for transit? Somebody put it up, then you put up your dope tag right next to it.
So
It
we
doesn't
also
have
want
to be racist, but just make it beautiful.
also want to or change the numbers around, make the ones
Right.
a 7 or something.
Yeah, mash them, play with
right.
it, make mark them. That'd be crazy. And you come back and see it, you be like, "What the hell?" No, whatever, dude. Every time you change it up.
I just want to give credit to the TikToker. Again, he got enough followers on TikTok. But I want to put on there those of you who want to check out his channel because that's what he does.
Yeah,
A lot of
he
times
does.
he'll look
That's his
for
thing.
that's his thing. He'll look for people that did wrong, and a
They
lot of
call
people
that
send him
doxing.
information, and he
He's
usually
good at
puts it out
doxing
there.
people.
He what?
He's good at doxing people or getting
Yeah.
people doxed. They'll send the information to him, and he gets right on it, and he gets a lot of things done, which is crazy for TikTok, but it happens. He's really good at that.
Tizzyent. I don't even know. Tizzyent on TikTok. Guys, go check him out. If you're on TikTok, go check him out. Only you to comment on his page telling you heard it here on Two Transmissions.
Yeah. Give us a little shout out. Ding, ding.
Right. So
Yeah,
so the next thing we want to talk about, which was we're going to this
transit. This is transit issues, eh?
Yeah.
That's transit issue.
We have this video from Senator Janaris. They're planning on an $11 billion state bill. It's public transport advocates. They held a rally in this past Valentine's Day. They calling the state to fund a package of bills that they claim will fully fund the MTA. It would make the system more efficient, stop fare hikes, and bring free bus service starting in 2027.
This
Service
is something
would
we
also
touched
increase-
on. No, I'm sorry. This is something that we touched on a couple of weeks ago. Again,
Yeah. It would increase subway service to 6 every 6 minutes, which people like that. Every minute, every day of the week. So we have a video, and you have some other stuff you want to talk about with that, correct?
Absolutely.
This is Senator Janaris.
We are trying to get people back on the subways. We are trying to get people back to work. Well, we can't do it if we don't have a mass transit system that's working, that is safe, and that works for them with the increased service that people expect. We can't do it if we don't provide free buses to get people back on the buses and back riding mass transit and off the streets in other ways, including in cars. We need to do this. We need to freeze fares, because if you want to convince people to get back on the subways, the last thing you should ask them to do is to pay more to get on them. Right. Yeah. We need to increase service so that we get those 6-minute rides that everyone expects and wants, so you're not standing on the platform for a half an hour waiting for a train to show up. That's right. And we need to provide free buses to change the way we do business, to shake people in New York City from thinking that things are the way they always have been and always will be. Free buses, frozen fares for the subways, increased service for both. That is the way we get the city back on its feet, and that is what we're here to say needs to happen in the budget that's going to pass next month.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Where do you get that video from?
Online. I looked up the $11 billion state bill, and it was on there.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, it goes a little further. It goes a little. It goes. He talks a lot more. I may have the whole thing, which we could post. I just didn't want to post it here.
We can post it on
I
our
was-
pages.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Post the full video. And anything that I have pull up here, I'm gonna make sure I post it on the pages too. Because that's very
I don't
interesting.
know how to feel about that.
I feel a certain way because I kind of like the idea, but it's like, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for free buses to serve? I know there's a compromise that I feel would be good, but I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. We're gonna circle back to my compromise because I did a little research of my own about that, and I came up with an email from a council member. I'm gonna try this, y'all. His name is Chi Osa. Chi Osa. He's a council member. And it was between him and Sarah L. Stefanski, who is the president director of Housing, Environment, and Infrastructure. And what happened was council member Chi Osa was directed the Independent Budget Office, the IBO, to do a survey, survey on 3 things for this free bus service. And this is the email here. We're going to break this down into 3 separate parts real quick.
Break it down.
This is the full email. So we're going to start with the top part right now. Right? I'm going to post this on the page so you can look at it, read it in full by yourself. But we're just going to break it down real quick. So the top part here, we have the council member Osa. I think that's how you say Osa. So at your request, the Independent Budget Office had estimated annual cost of introducing fair free local bus service under 3 scenarios. So they basically did 3 different scenarios where they waived the bus fares. The first one was for all riders. The second one was for riders who are 65 and older or who have disabilities. And the third one was for New Yorkers who are of low income, which they used the criteria, of the Bear Fares program to let you know who's eligible for low income. And if I'm not mistaken, that puts you at below the poverty line. So if you're below the poverty line, which I'm really not sure what it is in New York, I didn't go that deep into the research, but if you're below the poverty line, you should qualify for the Fair program and get into that, where it's basically almost free. But then we go into the second part, right, where they explain a little bit more about the three surveys that they did. Is a survey? I'm not sure that's the right word. But the gist of it is for survey number 1, where they waived the fare for all, it would cost $652 million for that. And for survey 2, which is for 65 and older and disability, it would cost them $40 million, right? And for survey number 3, which was just for low incomes, it would cost them $28 million, but that's with an asterisk. And the asterisk is something I'm gonna circle back to real quick after that. And the reason why we say that is because I wanted to ask you, with those 3 numbers right there, 652, 40 million, and 28 million, which one you think Transit is going to go after? If they approve any of them, which one you think Transit will approve?
Which other 3 again?
652 million, 40 million, or 28 million?
The 28.
Exactly, right? But here's where the asterisk comes in at, because I feel the same way. I feel like they're going to go for the lowest number possible, right? But here's where the asterisk comes in. Now, when they did the survey consists of, hold on, where is the middle part? The survey consists of the low income. But here's the thing: when they go into the low income and they get those numbers, they see that the New Yorkers who are eligible to take part into the low income is very low participation in that program. So their numbers are basically not right. So they estimated if they maxed out, right? Let's say, because you know what's going to happen is that when they decide, if they say we're going to go with the low income, then that program is going to be flooded with people who want to be part of the low income. So they're going to max out, right? And that will bring that little 28 million. It'll bring it from 28 million up to 83 million, which is still lower, but it's above the 40 million for the second survey, which is 65 and older and disability. Which I kind of feel like they're correct on that one, where people say, okay, so it's only free for disability, for low income. Well, I didn't know that they had, because I didn't even know there was a fair program neither, but I didn't know they had a fair program. Let me see if I qualify and let me sign up for it. So it's going to be,
yeah, they had that like a couple years ago. They put up,
but they don't, it's not like they advertise that every day.
No,
you know, they don't advertise it. So if you miss the advertising, you suck. You missed out, right? So now people gonna be like, oh, really? I didn't know. Let me sign up for it. So they're gonna be maxed out. A lot of people are gonna go for that, and it's gonna bring that 28 million up to 83 million, which gonna mean transit gonna want to go with the 40 million, because it's
then you're
still,
gonna have those that don't give a crap and they're still gonna walk in and not take their initiative to try to get that fair. Because they'd be like, why the fair if I could just walk in? Right.
So here's, and we come to that brings me to the bottom of that first letter, and it's importantly bus service. Importantly, because bus service is not operated, which a lot of people, a lot of the public don't really understand this part. Is the bus service is not operated by the city of New York, rather than an MTA, a state public authority. So it's a federal program that's operating what the buses drive under, not the city. It's a city bus, but the people who work on it work for the state. So
that's why they always go to the state to fund it.
Right. A lot of people think because it's a city bus, it's a city job. It's a state job. It's a federal job. So here we go. There's the share of the cost would fall to the city versus the MTA, or you could go, let me stop, or the state would be subject to negotiation, which means they're going to bargain, which means it's going to go into local 100 contract bargaining terms, agreement, stuff like that. Therefore, the estimates reflecting the annual cost of MTA, which may then be subsidized in whole or in part by the city. You could guess which one is going to happen. It's going to be in whole or in part by the city, because the city's not going to foot the bill by themselves.
Mm-hmm. I want to add to that bill or something you were not, you didn't see, you didn't mention. By the way, I found the article, and we'll post the whole thing with the video and everything. I got that. I'll send it to you. All the money that the bill will allocate, right? $300 million for each tax year from 2023 to 2026 to run subways and most buses at least every minutes every day of the week. But get this, which I'm hoping the TW Local 100 will get on this, being that contract talks are about to start. There is also a $600 million in the package to cover wage increases for MTA workers.
$600 million. That equates to what, though? When you break it down into per operator, and I don't just mean bus operators, but I mean train operators. When they break it down to
MTA workers,
personnel,
right?
Yeah, that's $650 million is not really a lot. That could equate to what? 10 cents more an hour. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds good because it's a big number, but when you break it down and you get down to the math, it might not be a lot, you know. But that's definitely something to look into. Definitely something to look into. But they were saying, you know, so all the buses be free and stuff like that. And then then they go further into explaining about transfers and stuff like that. And I kind of feel like, you know, so one of the proposals, they were saying that the buses be free, but you'll pay for the trains, which is that brings me back to my.
You're still gonna pay for the express buses as well, because the express buses is like the 6 something, and
they're a little more expensive.
Yeah,
which I think is a good compromise, because if the buses is free, and you still have to pay for the trains, you don't have to worry about transfers, which means that the people who, because there are some people who live in a double pay zone, where even though they ride the bus to get to the train, that bus doesn't necessarily connect with that train service. So you still have to pay an extra fare. So you're paying two fares. It's not a lot, but there are a few people in the city that have to do that because the connections are not the right connections for them. So if you eliminate the fact that they pay for buses, that keeps an extra fare in their pocket. And everybody else, it doesn't really affect other people. So let's say you get on a bus and you get a transfer to go on the train. Now you don't have to pay for the bus, so you don't need a transfer, which eliminates the transfer paper. That's a couple of $1 million for transit to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It eliminates the worries of, because now you don't have to get transfer from the bus. If you lose the transfer to get to the train, so you're just paying for the train. You're still taking the same bus, but now you're just paying at the train. You don't have to worry about getting the transfers up there. Bus operators don't have to worry about giving out transfers, running out of paper, and dealing with that headache and stuff like that. So I think that's a fair compromise. And the reason why I say that also is because trains are known to be faster at getting you to your destination and more reliable at getting you to your destination because they don't have to face traffic like bus operators do. They don't have to face car accidents or emergency vehicles blocking them. It's so many things that block a New York City Transit bus from operating on time that you don't have to deal with in the subways because they're on rails and they're back to back. So you will get to your destinations much quicker. So I think that's a better compromise if they just make the buses free and you just pay for the train service, except for the express buses, which is messed up for people in Staten Island, but that's what it is.
Well, I guess I mean, you don't get as many people trying to ride free on those buses anyway.
No, I think those people
buses
are a little bit more I don't want to say civilized, but that's the only word I can think of right now.
Ooh, all right. So check this out. So the bill would gradually eliminate fares on local buses and select bus services by 2027. So the free buses will be rolled out in the Bronx in 2024, followed by Brooklyn next year, and in Queens the third year. Manhattan and Staten Island would go fare free in the fourth year.
Yeah, but I guess most of Staten Island would get free because they have a lot of select buses, but they do have express buses. They have a lot of express buses. They have a lot of select buses.
Yeah.
So people would just pay to get to the ferry. I wonder, would the ferry be included in that? Or they never mentioned the ferry?
No, that's not mentioned at all.
Because Staten Island is the forgotten borough. They don't give a fuck. Stepchildren of New York. They the stepchildren of New York, bro. They don't get no fucking respect, man. They got one train line here, and everybody got to go to the city. They got to take the ferry or drive to the city, which is crazy.
Express buses.
I mean, we had 2023. They can't dig new tunnels to make connections to Manhattan. That would cut so much traffic in Brooklyn. A lot of
Hopefully, it won't be the same people that are working on the Gowanus. That will never get done, bro. That will never get done if we get the same.
They've been working on that for years. They said that was a 20-year project.
Still working on that.
Yeah,
even yesterday, they're still doing work on the Gowanus, bro, along 3rd Avenue. Which I don't know. Talk about.
I mean, they fixed up the Kosciuszko Bridge way faster than they did the Gowanus.
Mm-hmm.
They fixed that up. It's really pretty now. It's still traffic, but it's still fixed up. So I feel like that compromise would be good. Make the buses free and then pay for the trains. That'd be really good. A lot less headache for the operators.
Let's see how that works out. I see it is coming. It's coming. Probably New York will be. It's gonna take some time, but
what do you guys think about that?
Probably be working here anymore. But
should the buses be free? Should they still pay for the trains, or should everything be free? And if so, who do you think is going to pay for it?
They want it free because they're paying for this garbage.
If the buses and trains are free,
dirty,
you're still going to be paying for it. You're still going to be paying for it. I guarantee you, somehow, they're going to figure out a way for you to foot the bill for that. And it's just going to be what it is. You just
It'll
have
be
to
added
put
to
the bill.
your electric bill or whatever, MTA.
Some kind of fees or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be, well, just let us know what you think in the comments. Is it a good idea, bad idea? Make sure you specify what you're talking about. When we see the comments, it's not like it marks what section you're talking about. It's just the comment comes up and we like, huh? What? What do you mean? Yeah, really lost. So we got to try to
Yes,
figure out
please let
what
us
you're
know what
talking
what you're referring to. All right, so I guess we're done for tonight, man.
Yeah, man.
We got so much more stuff, but we'll talk about it next week. I'm gonna have to edit the show.
the
description, because we went off on a couple of things, but it's okay. That's how it is. We get our stories together and then we just go with whatever flows, whatever's working for us at the time. So thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to hit that bell, subscribe to our YouTube channel, help us grow, and we'll be back again next week. You good, Blunt?
Yes,
I'm gonna leave you guys with this little video right after we go off screen, and we will see you guys next week.
Yep.
So with that said, I'm Brooklyn Pete.
And I'm your boy Blunt.
And that's the end of our show.
Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Good night, everybody.
Night.